Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Mason Mount, Xavi Simons, Nicolo Barella, and Randal Muani. So let's get them all back up on here where they should be. Here we go. So for Mason Mount, so Chelsea have dropped their price for Mason Mount apparently, as United continue to pursue a transfer. Now, obviously, this is just rumours, but United had a second bid in yesterday, so that was Wednesday. That bid's been declined. But Erik Ten Hag is making the England international a priority target. Well, that's what it seems to be. Everything in the news has been primarily Mason Mount. It was yesterday, it was the day before, and it is again today. And while Chelsea did reject that yesterday's second bid, which is thought to have been around £50 million, it appears that a deal does seem on the cards. It does seem possible this summer. Now, the London club has previously been looking for around about £75 million. I thought it was about 70. Turns out it's a little bit more, 75 million. And United were never, ever going to pay 70 million for Mason Mount. No way. But according to new rumours that have come out today, it looks like Chelsea may settle for around 60 to 65. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was saying that United's top bid was going to be around 60. So I can't see that having changed. And I suppose it just does depend on how desperate Erik Ten Hag is to land at least one signing um, before before the Leeds game in Oslo, which is not that long away, and then there's obviously the Lyon game on July the 19th at Murrayfield in Edinburgh, and then the very next day the squad fly out to United States. So we could quickly get to pre-season and have no signings, but we just can hope that something's going to happen. Now, moving on from Mason Mount, we have Xavi Simons. Now, United have reportedly asked to be kept in the loop regarding Xavi Simons and his future. Um, the Dutch youngster has enjoyed a great season at PSV Eindhoven, which he's played 48 times, scoring 22 goals and providing 12 assists. The rumours have revealed that PSG, who is his parent club, could buy him back for just €6 million next month, and but United are interested actually in a deal. I mean, personally, I can't see why. I just can't see why PSG wouldn't take him back for €6 million. I mean, he's proven goal scorer, and it would be it would be well, the potential is actually if they were to sell him on, they could gain some additional profits because obviously they claw back some money from a sell on. But PSG can only activate that clause in Xavi's contract between July 1st and the 31st. However, the final decision on where he actually goes is down to Simons himself. So he could go anywhere. But I mean, ultimately, you'd assume he'd want to go back to his parent club and show what he's worth there. I mean, they're going through a bit of change. It looks like Mbappe may want to leave. Um, and that there are a lot of other clubs interested in the 20-year-old. That includes obviously United, then there's Arsenal, Brighton, Tottenham Hotspurs, um, Leipzig are also interested. So what do I think is going to happen? I reckon there's about a 90% chance that he'll go back to PSG rather than go to anywhere else. And I mean, he's not a player that I know much about. So if you know anything about Xavi Simons, if you've watched him play for PSV, do you think he's a player for the future? One that United should invest in now? I mean, what would he cost United? To buy, that is anyone's guess, but you'd probably be talking 30 million euros plus. I mean, of all the strikers that United have been linked to, I'm thinking that I haven't come across anyone where the asking price was below 50 million euro. So I can't see. I think that there is a little bit of a United tax whenever United's name, are involved in an interest of a player. So maybe it will be that if we are interested, the price gets inflated, and ultimately that'll mean we lose interest. Moving on, we have Nicola Barella. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his name, the first name. Nicolo, sorry, not Nicola, Nicolo Barella. Now, United could look to sign Barella this summer. Um, the Gazzetta dello Sport says Erik Ten Hag has shown interest in the Interstar after Newcastle United have been unable to reach an agreement over his fee. Now, it would still be a huge task for United to complete a deal uh, because Inter are unlikely to lower their 80 million asking price for Barella. He player's still got 3 years remaining on his current contract. He's 26 years old. He's a central midfielder. And this last season, he played 52 times for Inter in all competitions, scoring 9 goals and providing 10 assists. So it looks like from a central midfield kind of area, we're kind of a little bit spoilt for choice. I mean, as in, okay, are any of these players going to come into, from especially players from outside the Premier League? Are they going to come in? Are they going to be able to replicate the kind of form they had in abroad? Well, that has always been the challenge for players coming to the Premier League, and in fact, vice versa. So we can't always be negative about players who aren't established in the Prem. At the end of the day, there's the list of endless players that have come from abroad and hit the ground running in the Prem is a huge list. Not one I want to recite, but I mean, if you want to name a few in the comments below, please do so, and we'll read them out. Moving on, we've got Randal Muani. So let's find out the latest about Randal Muani. So United are reportedly leading the race to sign Muani. Now, obviously, we've been linked with him for a while. Um, and things have went a little quiet over the last week or two. But apparently, we're leading the race for him. Now, Let Equip, that's a foreign newspaper, says both United and Bayern Munich, excuse me, um, says both United and Bayern Munich are showing interest in the 24-year-old striker. But he's just again like the midfield. He's just one of a number of options being currently considered as a striker. I mean, and this guy is another proven striker. He's 4 years old. He's another player with a big price tag. It's around 100 million euros, and I think that could be a stumbling block for United. But as I mentioned, he is a proven goal scorer, having scored 23 goals in 46 appearances, and he's provided 17 assists last season. So 23 goals, 17 assists. I think that is a pretty impressive um, return, I think. I mean, he plays for Eintracht Frankfurt. Um, he's nowhere near the end of his contract, so if we're gonna bid for him, it's got to be good money because again, Bayern are probably going to be interested in him. That means there'll be a bidding war, and I think whoever United are interested in, there are plenty of teams out there that also need a striker, need a midfielder, need a goalkeeper. Um, need a a backup CDM and a central defender. So it is the case that United's well. I saw something today. I was reading something where it was saying that United have a potential transfer kitty of 150 million pounds. Um, Off the top of my head, I don't know what that translates to in euros, but I mean, obviously, that's not a lot of money. Not a lot of money at all. I mean, you're probably talking one quality proven striker and a midfielder for that. And I've got to admit, it's looking like we're going to have to be happy with something like that. Maybe this transfer window. I mean, the transfer window's been open. This is what, the eighth day the transfer window's been open, and so far it's been particularly slow. And we really, I mean, thinking about that, as I mentioned a little earlier, um, the pre-season games they start with Leeds in Oslo, and that is fast approaching. We're talking next month, and it's the dream of every manager to have all their new signings done for pre-season, so they can have those players with them. And it's just not going to happen. I mean, if we there's doubts. I've got to admit, I feel doubt as whether we'll sign actually anyone. I mean, I'm not a pessimist. I'm not naturally a pessimist. I'm actually naturally a very positive person. But it's so quiet from the club at the moment. It's like there's a gagging order. Keep your mouth shut, Ten Hag. Don't go saying anything to the press. I mean, he's not the most talkative guy to the press in the first place. So I mean, it was just little in the dark, and we've got all these rumours coming out. This player, that player, whatever player, players leaving, but none of it's happened. Who's left? Who's come in? No one. No one. So yeah, we're all in the dark, and we can only. I mean, I think Muani, Rando Colo Muani, would be a great signing for Manchester United. I just think he's got a lot of attributes that would suit playing alongside Marcus Rashford. Obviously, keeping Rashford on the left, Muani playing through as a number nine. Um, but it looks like we're going to get Højlund, but he can't be our number one striker. The lad isn't proven. He hasn't got the experience. He needs to be a number two to a more experienced guy, or a guy that's actually showing that he can proven he's got more ability. I'm not saying Højlund's not a good player. What I'm saying is, 10 goals last season, didn't start all the time for Atalanta. Whereas the likes of Randal Muani, regular starter, banging in goals, 1 in 2. He's a 1 in 2 guy, 17 assists. They're stats that you'd think if Ten Hag got hold of him, maybe he can improve him that little bit and turn him into, maybe a 25, 30 goal a season striker for United. And imagine what that would have done for us last season. You know, we had Wout Weghorst, and that ended up being a 2 in 30, something like that, goal season for him. So Moani would be a complete breath of fresh air. Um, yeah. Uh, and as for the midfield, I mean, we've got multiple options, and it looks like Mason Mount's going to be the guy. It's just United and Chelsea have to meet some form of agreement on that price. I don't think United want to pay more than 60 million. I don't even know if they've got 60 million. But if it's anything like the structure of deal we saw that Arsenal are offering for Declan Rice, if you remember me saying yesterday, that's, let's think, it was 75 million spread across 5 years, with it, which is 15 million a year, and then 15 million on top as bonuses. But they obviously were conditional on anything that could be like, uh, Arsenal winning the Champions League, Declan Rice scoring 10 goals next season, so forth and so forth. So maybe United are going to negotiate deals like that, especially if they haven't got, let's say, let's say 150 million. If they can break that up and spend it on multiple players as a one-off payment, and then next season they're paying again and paying a bit more and paying a bit more. But I think United already have a lot of debt that from deals that have been structured in that way. And that's where FFP, financial fair play, comes in, and may ultimately tie United's hands a little bit. I mean, that's unless the Qataris win and they do a bit of a Ted Bowley, which is to hell with FFP. Let's go just spend hundreds of millions on buying as much talent in now as we can now, and then deal with FFP, the fine afterwards, because ultimately it's about the future of the club and getting the right players in. I go down that route personally because United do need a clear out. We also need a mass influx of quality talent. Let me know what you think in the comments below. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please smash a like if you can. And if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. Thanks a lot.